a lot of negative reactions, especially from the man space. I've heard a lot of that going on recently. I did see the TLA live stream,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people are mischaracterizing what he was discussing. But I'm not going to speak for him. But I did
Right.
listen to it, and I understood the direction and what he was actually talking about. And I think the angle is that, again, I've heard the lady who came on earlier, OG. I don't know the rest of her name, but
Patrice.
Patrice, she was
Mm-hmm.
100% correct about just the back and forth, the not really talking about the real issues, and you spoke about it earlier as well. The
Mm-hmm.
real issues that are impacting our community that we need to address. We're not talking about those things. These things don't they don't become viral, right? Like, we want to talk about the real issues, but we want to focus on relationships and drama and that type of thing. But I will say this: when it comes to domestics, you guys, evidence is so important. The judge is not going to grant protection orders. And I know it sounds silly, but I've worked cases where I would talk to women. I would hear everything that they're saying. A lot of times, a lot of women won't report things, and they want to report them after they have like a bad fallout in a relationship. But as officers, we can't do anything with that. Something that
Mm-hmm.
happened 3 months ago, something that happened last year, and because you're tired of the situation, you want to separate. The judge doesn't consider those things. There's no evidence. Evidence is so important. And a lot of times I tell people, when a person shows you who they are, you need to believe it.
Right.
Don't justify their behavior. Don't make excuses for them. And a lot of times what I've seen in these domestics is women will see the red flags. And I know there's reasons for the avoidance of it, but the reality is there's always something that's showing us that this person is someone that's potentially dangerous, or this
Mm-hmm.
person has mental health issues that need to be addressed. And that doesn't excuse the words and the things that he is saying. And I think that's where a lot of the pushback has come back from, is that just because a man is expressing his story or his truth, that it's not real, and that's not true either.
Right.
Because again, I've investigated plenty of situations where women have lied, women have assaulted themselves and to try to develop the evidence because they want to take the child away from or prevent the man from having the child. So I've done these things a lot, and so it's a tricky thing when you have people who can lie, when people are willing to be deceptive in order to have their way. So I say that to say that just because he did something completely unacceptable doesn't mean there were no truth in his words. And I think that's where you start to see men say, yes, we want you guys to hear what we are saying, because men are victims in these situations as well. And two things can exist at the same time. Um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I definitely believe that. And what I've been seeing, even, in the chat, and I looked at Red Supreme. Oh, Lord, Red Supreme. And he did a live about this, and it was pretty much women lie.
Right,
Women lie. And, I know 70% of what they say is a lie to the police, and lie, 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 lie. But it was talking about this particular situation, and at the end of the day, the lady did say, I'm scared for my life. He
right,
told me that he was going to. I don't want to tell him where I live. Well, look what happened. Did she lie? And
right,
even if these women are lying, what if that 1% is telling the truth? So, you know, I get it. And again, that's when I was telling women, your words matter. Words are important. Words have meaning. Words are remembered. Words are powerful.
right,
And so, your lying has a consequence. So if she was lying,
right.
look at the consequence.
Correct, correct.
So
The
it's on both of us. It's women. And that's, I don't understand. Sometimes in this space we just don't seem to get it. We just can't blame. Yeah, well, the woman shoulda, coulda, woulda.
right, yeah,
His
and
hands are dirty just as well.
no, absolutely, it's mutual. And
Yeah.
I, I've seen things where, to me, I looked at some of the court paperwork in this case,
Mm-hmm.
and what I saw was a judge dismissed. It looks like pretty much all the claims.
All of them.
And when I read her statements that she wrote, her statements to the judge, one of the things, there were statements saying that, hey, he did this in the past. He did this, it was a couple months ago. He did that.
Yeah.
He bit me here, bit me there. The
Yeah. Hurt the
question,
dog.
Right.
a
So the
while ago.
question becomes, how come those things weren't, the police report wasn't done that time, when that incident occurred? Where are the photos? Where's the documentation? Those, unfortunately, it sounds silly, but those things are important because the courts know that people do lie. And I will say this though,
Mm-hmm.
that I've worked plenty of cases where women have lied on men and they weren't held accountable for that. So you think about how much an allegation, how you talked about how powerful a woman's words are. A woman's words are extremely powerful. We see that with, well, I'll say Jesse Smollett. I know he's not a woman, but but you see how quickly a person can lie and how you can turn this country upside down. And so an allegation is very powerful coming from the words of a woman. A
Yeah.
woman's words, like you said earlier, is her strongest weapon.
Mm-hmm.
If you scream and allege you're being attacked or being raped, or I'm sorry, sexually assaulted, those things has weight to it. And
Yeah.
society is a lot quicker to believe a woman's voice than a man's voice. And we understand why that is. Women and children are a protected class in this country, so we understand that. We're not taken away from that. But when women get it wrong, or when they falsely accuse a man or someone of a crime, whistling, at a woman can get you lynched, right? And so you think about how powerful that is and how it's always been that way. And men are finally in a space where they get a chance to actually tell their stories. And if you talk to people who work in certain professions, like an attorney or someone who works in counseling, people, nurses, they will tell you the things that they've seen women do that are extremely egregious towards men. And men no one really cares if we're suffering. We're like, hey, my child's mother put me through this or through that. People are just like, all right, well, get over it. You shouldn't have been dealing with her in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So it's a tough place. I really applaud you for having this conversation and coming at it from a very balanced perspective, because what I see a lot of times now that I'm new at this content creating stuff, I see that there's a lack of maturity with people in this space. They're unable to have conversations in good faith and say, hey, listen to what the men are telling you, right? This is something that men are going through. And unfortunately, this man was suffering, as he said, he was suffering from depression. He had no family, according to him, allegedly. He had no one he could turn to. And what was his outlook? We don't know. We don't really know much of anything. We can speculate.
Right.
I had similar situations dealing with people who suffer from depression. And I've spoke with them a couple of times before that fourth time going into their home, and they had already taken their life. So the question is, you try to do so much, but when someone makes up their mind, no matter how much resources you give them, it is difficult. It's something that within the self they have to defeat.
I appreciate you. What is you shut out your page?
Oh, okay. Nathan Daly. I know it's basic.
Super basic.
Super basic. What's funny is when I started, I could not think of a channel name at all. I was like, I'll just use my name. I should have did what you did. I am Corey. I like that. So
no, it's pretty basic too. This is me.
It's me. Yeah. If you guys want to check out my channel, it's Nathan Daly on YouTube. And basically, I speak towards bringing insight into the Black community in reference to law enforcement related issues. So I break down cases, like a lot of the popular cases going on now, the Dante riot and things like that, and just kind of giving us insight so we understand what the real issues are, and just very genuine, very transparent, and how we can have better outcomes with law enforcement. So if you guys check me out when you get an opportunity, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I was about to call you the Negro Brandon Tatum.
Hey, don't do it. Nah, not at all. Not at all. My God.
You say I called you the Negro version because he's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.